That was the worst intro. I messed that up really badly. That was terrible. This is why I'm not a producer. That's exactly why I'm not a producer.
It works.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of a Stoked Podcast. Thank you for once again coming and spending your Thursday evening with us. My name is Javon Stokes. I am your host. I am the founder and CEO of Visually Stoked. Next to me is my cousin Jamari Stokes, and we're going to entertain you for a little bit. Today we have a really awesome guest. We have Michael Watson will be our guest. He's running a bit late, but that's okay. We're gonna get into some things while he, gets settled doing the things that he needs to do. So seriously, guys, we're almost at the end of the week. I know everybody's happy. You?
I am so ready.
Oh, you can. I'm gonna point. Where am I going? This way? Yeah, there we go. Please, please comment in the chat section. We can. You don't know what I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't know what to do with my hands. Talladega Nights, people. Please comment. Please comment in the chat section, and obviously we'll post them online. We'll post them every now and again because you guys say some really funny stuff. But yeah, so yes, Michael Watson is our guest today, and he will be a little late, but that's okay because Michael always brings the funny, he brings the thunder, and me and him have had some interesting back and forths, especially on Top 5 Live.
I don't. Based on all of his background, does he sleep?
I don't think Michael sleeps, man. I think what was it? I don't know if you ever watched, what show was it? Was it Angel, where they had the episode where he had his sleep removed? I think that's what happened with Michael. Guys like Michael and even Danny and who else? I'm trying to think. Greg.
Can I get that procedure done?
If I don't know. I need it. I need it. I definitely.
I love sleep. Don't get me wrong. I probably like it too much.
Yes, you can follow us on Twitter at you can right below us. Yeah, see that right there at visually_stoked. You can follow us on Instagram at visually stoked media and at J Ali Stokes. You can follow us on Instagram. You can follow a Stoked Podcast on Instagram as well. It's a Stoked Podcast. And please go to the website visuallystoked.com and buy comic books. Buy my comics, buy my t-shirt. For those that don't know, I do the art, do the writing, do the coloring, do everything for Heat. And I have some good stuff, man. I work really hard on this. So yes, please go buy. My children will be happy. So today, there are a couple of things I wanted to get into. We talked about this real quick. I think we should probably get into the Ryan Coogler thing first because it's fresh.
In that case, so I know of its existence. And this is one of those things where when I read about it, I was like, I don't know how much of a story is out there right now. So enlighten me of the details.
So for those that don't know, Ryan Coogler was basically arrested for trying to withdraw money from his own account from a teller. Yeah. He gave her a note that said, "Can you please withdraw $12,000 from my account?" In the note. I guess it was, I'm not sure why he said it. I know he has a slight speech impediment and he had a mask on, so that might have had something to do with it. But basically the woman was the teller, who was black, thought he was robbing her in the bank and called the police, and the police, basically walked up to him and, "What's up, Kenji? What's going on? We're going to get you on here, man, because me and you got to argue about that Michael Jackson thing."
Enlighten that one. I want to be enlightened about too.
No, we're not going. And pregnant. Who's pregnant? What are you talking about, man? I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, so yeah. So yeah, Ryan Coogler was arrested. I didn't see the other video, but I did see the video where he was approached by the cops. One of the guys basically drew his gun Like he had it to his side, but his gun was drawn. And the teller was pregnant.
Got you.
Pregnant brain, probably. Anyway, but yeah, I it's like I feel like the world keeps coming up with like different ways to remind Black people that we don't trust you. Like you could be the most famous Black person in the world, and something crazy gonna happen to you just because you're Black.
Bro, he's in a unique situation because while a lot of people know his name, I can personally tell you, I couldn't pick him out of a lineup if you showed him to me right now. Which is amazing.
I mean, that's fine.
I've watched almost everything he's done, and I understand the care that he puts into his work, but I guess if it were Michael B. Jordan as opposed to him, that'd be even more outrageous. But this is a powerful individual and someone who carries a lot of sway. And it shows you're not immune.
Well, I understand, like, there are a lot of Black people who probably don't know what writing Kugler looks like, but if you just from a logistical point of view, if somebody's asking you to withdraw money from their account, not give me $12,000 or I'm gonna kill you. He's asking me $12,000 from my account.
Yeah, that sounds pretty crazy because you're going to have to show your ID to do anything like this. And if they can ask you to pull your mask down or something. I mean, people do similar things, and I wouldn't have even made a second thought. So again, that kind of stuff is crazy. Like there was absolutely no reason for that to happen. And this is probably the highest profile version of these instances of banking while Black, and there's been many of them over the past 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, it's just like even at this point, man, I'm not. It's hard. Like I get angry about it, but I'm angry as like I laugh it out, like an awkward, like this is so crazy, it's hilarious, and I feel like I should probably be angrier, but it's like, dude. They're at this point, they're getting really creative. Like at some point, a Black man is going to be arrested for breathing. I'm just waiting for it.
I'm fairly certain if we comb through some instances, we can pretty much find something along those lines.
I'm going to Google it right now. Black person arrested for breathing.
I mean, isn't that essentially what stop and frisk is?
You know what? You're right.
That basically leads to Black, breathing while Black.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, this is a ridiculous, high-profile version of, the banking while Black situation. You've had Black people who are in charge. There was the one case where the woman, the one that stuck in my mind is the situation where the woman was working for a nonprofit organization. She went to the bank to withdraw money from the nonprofit, and even though her name was on everything, even though all this information was there, they did not want to give her the money, and she got called in, checked over, and everything else. It was and we're seeing these instances where people just continuously get harassed because, I don't trust you, and we continually get reminded that Black people are untrustworthy even in our own spaces sometimes.
Yeah, no, Kenji, I didn't see when they jumped on that kid with no arms. I did not hear about that. That might be the winner. Like if you have to wrestle a kid with no arms down, anybody with no arms, that might be the winner. Honestly, I mean, this whole thing is it is funny, it is terrifying. Kenji, now you messing with me, man. Now you messing with me, dude. It's funny, it's terrifying, it's depressing, it's disappointing. It's like I don't want to give it any energy, but it's really hard not to. So I'm not gonna. I don't want to dwell on this too much more. I'm gonna go. I don't want to do this until I was gonna give my review on the Batman, but I'm not gonna do that until Michael gets here.
All right. Oh, you do that? Yeah. Do wait till he gets here.
I want to wait.
You said that's something that's supposed to be talked about.
Yeah. So let's talk about Bel Air. You know, I saw somewhere online where somebody was complaining about Bel Air and calling it a failure. And I feel like people are missing the point on the show. Like I've seen other people kind of complain about it. Like I've seen a lot of people who like it, but I've seen other people complain about the show. And I'm just like, guys, it's not supposed to be a comedy. Like it's supposed to be a drama.
And it is supposed to be a drama. That is
hey Tanya, what's up, girl?
Now, fair warning: if you have not seen the latest episode,
oh yeah, we're in spoiler. Get into it. Like I apologize. Like we're in spoiler.
So the complaints that I have seen have been the people who seem to not be able to understand that. Just like you said, they don't understand that you're going to make this dramatic, and it's not going to. They're not trying to make a shot-for-shot remake of the original Fresh Prince. There's no.
But they kind of are though. Kenji, man. All right, Kenji, we'll keep it spoiler free. I'll keep it spoiler free.
Well, how about we talk about some of the way that they have set certain things up, or the fact
we won't talk about. Hold on, we won't talk about this week's episode, but we'll talk about the show up until this week. Yeah,
1 through 6.
We don't want to lose anybody. We want y'all to stay on. We want you to stay on. You should be having. You could have 2 screens. You gotta have Bel Air and then us.
Tell me, who do you think is the standout character?
Hillary.
Coco
Hillary's
Jones?
the standout. Well, that's tough, man. That's tough.
The cast is
Carlton might be the standout character.
I have to go with Carlton.
I know they both are doing such a good job.
Coco Jones brings in a fandom with her stuff, but she's also put a very interesting spin on the Hillary character. She's not the original character was supposed to be, bubbly. She's a little bit of a bimbo in some senses, and this Hillary is none of those things.
But she's bubbly, but it's not like vapid blonde bubbly.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like she's not dumb. She can be misled, but she's not dumb.
Yes.
But they've given her like way more. Clearly, the people who were making the show were like, we're throwing everything out with Hillary, except for she does catering and she likes fashion.
Yes.
And she needs a job. She's definitely not stupid.
And I think they're really leaning on the charisma of the actress playing Hillary, and they see that that's going to go somewhere. And I think you're going to see more of her storylines become a bigger deal too.
Yeah. Like she's not like Kenji, you're right. Hillary previously was Kelly Bundy. We gotta pause. We gotta pause it. Maybe we could get into it. Because the guest of honor has arrived. Mm-hmm. So, Michael, what's good, my man? I'm going to give you your introduction as I do everybody. I try to get really flowery, but I'm going to do my best. Oh, my son wants to sit in. Oh, whoa. Careful.
Yeah.
All right. My son's going to sit in. He's going to sit in for this one. All right. Our next guest is a madman. Okay, you can't talk while I'm doing it, but.
Okay.
You can't. All right, say bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye, everybody. All right, somebody had too much sugar. Bye-bye. Okay, he almost messed up your intro, man. All right, here we go. Our next guest is a madman in the independent comic book industry. He is prolific, and his influence is seemingly widespread. He is the founder of a comic book company, Freestyle Comics, with multiple successful titles, and just recently, through Kickstarter, fully funded his next comic, Vigilance, in 1 day, less than 1 day. Round of applause, everybody, for the incredibly creative Michael Watson.
Wow, that introduction though.
Oh man, I got to do right by you, man.
I feel special.
I got to do right by you, man. When you come on my show, when you come on this show, you gonna at least feel good. You gonna get your flowers.
I appreciate it, sir. I appreciate it a lot.
What's good, my man? I know you busy.
Yeah, man. My day gig that I worked for, a couple of the upper management were in town, so my boss wanted me to come eat with them.
Okay,
and
okay.
I thought we'd be done by then, but was not. So,
hey, the day job takes priority. We get that. I get that. I get that. Well, welcome, Michael. I don't know if you remember my cousin Jamari.
I do remember. How you doing?
Okay, cool.
Hold on, sir. I got to give you props for what you got on the shelf in the back.
Huh?
That's it.
What is that? What is that?
Well, I see the Nerf guns, but also
that's what I thought it was. I thought it was a Nerf gun.
He's got some. Oh my goodness!
Oh my Lord.
Yes, sir.
That looks terrifying. in a good way. In a good way.
Yeah, that's quality work, sir.
So welcome to a Stoked Podcast.
Okay.
This is the show where we talk about, not just comics, but basically creative entrepreneurship. Okay. And if that don't describe you, I don't know what does. Kenji says nice rack.
Thank you, Kenji.
I'm doing podcasts. I'm doing a producer today, so things are going to move just a hair slower than normal. But anyway, yes, welcome. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. The funny part is I never knew you until Top 5, but the first time we talked on Top 5, it was like I've known you forever. We literally got into a huge argument about Miles Morales, and this man came with guns blazing, and I appreciate when back down. So I'm always gonna give you respect on that.
What was the position you both took on this? I'm curious now.
All right. So basically, my position was that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and Miles Morales is the Black Spider-Man. And when people think of Spider-Man, they think of Peter Parker first.
Oh, okay, we've had that conversation too.
Yes. Yeah. So that was a good one, but that's not what tonight is about. That is not. Well, we can get back into it if you want, but we can do it later. First, we got to get it. I got to talk to you because this man has his own comic book company. He employs people. He puts out great stuff. You got to tell me how'd you go from being a comic book fan to a creator?
Well, the story of being a comic book fan, I actually thought comic books were dumb. I did not like them.
Wow.
My best friend at the time in 6th grade was reading them, and I was like, "Man, you actually read comics? That's stupid." And he was like, "What? You don't like comics?" I was like, "No, Tom. When have you ever seen me with a comic book? I do not like them. You can't. How do you even read them joints? I mean, left, right, whatever. I can't make hide a hair of it." And he took off his glasses like real slow and looked at me dead in my eye and said, "I don't know if this is gonna work." I'm like, "What? Like, if you don't like comic books, I don't know if we can be friends."
He was ending the friendship.
Dude, he was on the cusp of it. And he was like, "I'm gonna bring in a stack of some books, and if you can't find something out that stack, then we can't be friends because I'm a comic book head."
Wow.
I'm like, "Tom, quit playing. You know we about to go to lunch, right? You know they're about to have that hot dog in the bean sauce. You know I like that. So come on, quit playing with me." And I blew it off. He came to school the next day with a stack of comics, gave them to me, and didn't say nothing to me the rest of the day. The expectation was I was supposed to read these books.
You gotta read every book. He gave you homework.
There you go.
Gave you homework.
There you go.
And so I didn't have a lot of friends back in school back then. So I took these books home and I flipped through them. And Lord be it was the very last book at the bottom of the pile. X-Men number 17, Andy Kubert drawing, X-Men Blue Squad versus Omega Red and Rush against Colossus for the fate of Illyana,
Okay.
And it was just something about the art in that book, and the smallest effort that you ever known, with butter knives coming out of his hands. The fact that he just kept getting back up, and Cyclops was down, Colossus was down, Iceman was down, Psylocke was down, Beast, all these people that had better powers than this little dude, but he kept getting back up and getting in Omega Red's face, and I was like, man, I wish I was like that. Like, I want to be that tough. Like,
don't tell me you're a Wolverine fan, man.
Oh, I'm a Wolverine fan.
Oh.
He's what did it for me. Because I got picked on, and
Okay.
I wasn't a fan of being picked on, but Wolverine was getting kicked, and he just kept getting back up, and he would not stop. And I gravitated towards that. Like, I wish I had that type of courage.
Okay.
And then I wanted to read more. I wanted to know more about these characters and whatnot, and I fell in love with comics at that day, and I don't know when it happened, but it was that same school year. This dude that picked on me. It was a cold winter. This is back when they did not close down schools.
Yeah, and, I remember that.
And he was picking on me, man. And I threw down my book bag, and I was like, "You're gonna stop this today." And he decked me right in my jaw, and I felt that. And my body was saying, "Stay down," but my heart said, "Get up." Did Wolverine stay down? I got up. I'm gonna tell you, this doesn't have a happy ending because I did not kick his ass. All right, I kept getting knocked down and would not stay down. And
that's all right. You got up.
He just was like, "Give up, quit." I'm like, "Nah, you're not picking on me anymore. We're not doing this no more. So this is it." And it lasted till the bus came. And he didn't ask me no more. Couple weeks later.
Can we get that on a shirt?
Huh?
Can we get that on a shirt now?
What?
Did Wolverine stay down?
Did Wolverine stay down?
But we actually ended up becoming real close friends. Tom and I started a comic company in 6th grade. We got the classroom involved. Tom would write the stories. I would draw them. We had other people coloring them and putting them together. And we would have these meetings during our lunch period. Our teacher kind of picked up on that, so she brought in documentaries about how to make comic books. Then she saw that we were selling them, so she talked to the principal, and it got lunch extended for 10 minutes each day.
Wow.
Well, not each day. I think it was like twice a week. That would allow people to come to our classroom to buy candy and comics from me and Tom, because we ran a comic book company.
Nice.
And ever since then, that is what I have wanted to do, is make comic books ever since the 6th grade.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, never seen a more productive beatdown in my life.
Hey, it was literally movie type stuff, man. And I would not have done it. I would not have done it if I did not read that comic book.
Hey, listen, man, I have long said that my thought process when it comes to like chivalry and stuff like that, like is from basically comic books, like being a hero and all the other stuff. Like, yeah, like I always like I've never been a fan of like the killing heroes. Like, I like the noble, I'm gonna save everybody in the villain. So I mean, comic books are real, man. Comic books are strong, dude. The influence they have is real.
Yeah, it really is. And it wasn't like, because Wolverine doesn't kill anybody in that. When he's on the X-Men, he really don't kill people. So it was that nobility of him, that he stood up for all his fallen members. Jubilee was like his little sister, his little kid, so he always protected her. And like, he just would not stay down. He would get back up again and again, and just out of determination, and be that small, and and still getting your ass kicked. It was inspiring. So comics really do be helping kids out.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Jamar.
I was just saying, the Ric Flair of Marvel.
I haven't heard that one before. I like that one. one.
Okay. So you got to tell me about Freestyle Comics. how you founded it, how you started it, like how you get from here to there. Because me meeting you when I first got introduced, because I got introduced to you through Morgan, through the top 5 guys, and like once like I check your site out, I'm like, this man got clothes, this man got the jacket that you wearing right now, this man got everything, and I'm sitting here going, man, like this dude got an empire. So like how did you get from here to there?
Well, Freestyle Comics has been a long journey for me. It used to be called Michael Jeffrey MJW Comics. It was my full name, and that was lame. I went to an art high school, and I got my tag name. We I crap you not. We battled. We carried around our sketchbooks and our pencils, and a battle would happen anywhere, anytime, any day. And people knew the rules. So if you saw 2 kids still on their sketchbooks, somebody automatically defaulted as the referee and would give us the subject matter. And we had to freestyle whatever the ref said without any reference. And then everybody around would pick their winner. And I won a bunch of times and I end up giving myself the nickname Freestyle King. And nice. I worked at an airbrush shop. I was a real arrogant asshole in high school. I wish I could have took some stuff back, but I airbrushed it on all my shirts. I challenged everybody. I wanted that smoke. And getting ready to go to college, I was on the phone with one of my friends, and I was like, man, MJW Comics sounds stupid. I really need a better name for my comic book company. I'm about to go out here to Columbus. Go to school and start working on these comics. I need to come up with something else. And he was like, man, you get on my nerves. I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, you looking for a name for the comic book company? What's your tag name? And I was like, Freestyle. Oh my God. Freestyle Comics.
There you go.
There it is. It's been sitting here this entire time. And
I did not know that.
I never put it together. Never saw it. And that's going to happen a couple more times in my life.
That's all right. That's all right.
I've been working on Hotshot. I started Hotshot off as I was drawing my friends in high school. So we had a team called Youth Force. So we were all superheroes in regular clothes. We were teenage superheroes, and we would fight the school across the street because we had a rivalry. And then as I got to college, I went to school by not by myself, but I was the only person from Cleveland at the Columbus College of Art and Design.
Are you from Cleveland?
Yeah.
Dude, I got family all in Ohio, dude. Both of us. Yeah. We got family all in Ohio. Dayton, Columbus.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I got people in Cleveland.
But being by myself, I kind of started reworking Hotshot, and I was like, well, I'm gonna turn this into a solo comic book adventure, and I had these stories written out, and I basically was using my sketchbook as a comic book. I went to CCAD because I didn't know how to make comic books, like how to make them, and they had a comic book class. But then I came across this guy named Victor Dandridge. This is a jerk. And if you know him, he'll tell you. I kept my comics like this, close to my chest. I didn't let them go. If somebody looked at them, I was over their shoulder. Oh yeah, you like that? All right, you had enough time with that. Let me take that off. Very, very protective. And the next year I was a resident advisor. So I lived in the dorms. I took care of the freshmen. And I was doing one of those 12-hour shifts at the front desk. And I was working on the books. And Victor came in and he was like asking, can he look at it? Me and Victor had like a rivalry that was probably more on my side than his. Because he was the comic book kid too, and I was like, "Nah, I'm the comic book kid. That's what I do." And he was looking over the Hotshot stuff, and he was like, he really liked it. And I forgot how we got there, but he asked me if he could write some stuff up for me, because my writing sucked. My writing sucked, real talk.
Really?
And he was like, yeah. I was like, I don't know why, but I trusted this dude for some reason.
Probably because he
take
was
it
honest.
home. I let him write, and he was writing the stuff. And a few weeks later, he gives me a Bible about that thick, and he wrote a 5-part story arc for Hot Shot. But not only wrote the story arc for Hot Shot, but like put in chapter breaks, memos, notes, questions. It was like a freaking textbook for writing comic books that he put together for me. And he was like, so I want you to take this and then rewrite your story. This is going to help you out a lot. And I said, and I read it, and I came back to him the next day. I was like, so this was your application to write the book? And he was like, no.
He's auditioning.
I was like, nah, B. Don't nobody write this much stuff to help somebody. You mean help yourself get a job.
Right.
Or help me make a decision to give you a job.
Were you publishing at this time? Or
No. Still just trying to make a comic. And he eventually agreed, and we took those first 5 stories and we started converting them into comic books. And we were working with the school. We brought the school the first comic book club, their first printed comic books. That was the first time I ever got printed in something. We did an anthology. We did 2 issues of it. Took that knowledge and then we turned it back around and really started putting it in a Hot Shot. Got a book out, and we eventually went to a comic book convention. And that was fun. That was a fun experience trying to figure all that stuff out. We went out to Chicago. We learned some things, and I'd say about a year or 2, we decided to redo the launch, and come back to comic book conventions stronger. And the first 3 issues of Hot Shot, we said we were coming out every other month, and we did that.
Nice. That's hard.
It is. It was exceptionally hard. We went to a comic book convention called Space, and I'd say that's the first show where we blew up, because there was a comic book website there called Comic Related, and we bought, along with 7 of our other partners, we bought 7 tables. So it was our printer, it was me, it was Vic, it was our buddies that make buttons, it was our buddy that draws, and like we just had a whole row, and we had the book out. And when we came to that show, people had saw the second issue, and some people that got the first issue, they was like, wait a minute, this book came out 2 months ago, right?
Wow.
Like, yeah. It was like, you already got the second issue out? It was like, yeah. Yeah, it was like, what's wrong with that? They were like, no, I mean, nobody does that. And this is a 22-page full color comic book. So apparently, when you're an indie creative, indie creatives don't normally make superhero books, and they dang sure don't make them 22 pages, and they don't make them full color. And we were doing that, and we didn't realize that was a thing. We just wanted to make a comic book. We didn't know there was these circles or these clicks.
What year was this?
Huh?
What year was this?
Oh, this had to be 2004, 5, around that area, that time. And so they had a mic, and I noticed they was making announcements. And I went up to the showrunner, and I was like, "Hey, can I get on that mic?" And he was like, "I don't care, man. Use as much as you want."
I was gonna say, don't tell me that.
That show became a promotional show for all 7 tables.
Wow.
I was on there guiding people to our table. I was talking about this person won this. I was like, come down there. Like, we had a gift bag where we had one bag. You start at one table, you get a bag, and each table that you bought from, you got a gift put in that bag. And I was just loud. And then Comic Related was like, who are these people that are just so damn loud in this show? And it came over, and Rachel, it was her name. She interviewed us, asked what we were talking about, and she was caught off guard by the book too. Read the book, wrote it up on their website, gave us a great review, and people started knowing us from Comic Related. Our stuff was popping up there, and we said, well, the next book will be out in 2 months. And they was like, oh, okay, right. And then the next show we were at was 2 months later, and we had 3 books, and they were like, you really came out with the book. Like, you're really coming out with a book. And we were going to comic book shops, doing book signings. We were going to comic book conventions, going with our friends and saving money that way, and just hustling and bustling and whatnot.
Now to the people watching, I want you guys to understand what he's saying about having a it would be a bi-monthly. Would it be bi-monthly or is twice? No, bi-monthly is twice a month.
Hold on one second.
Yeah, but doing that is really hard as an indie guy, because most of us are working full-time jobs and everything, and most of us are paying for this stuff like out of pocket. So like that's a really admirable thing. I'm speaking from experience, because most of the people who watch this already know, I do everything by myself.
Yes.
So for me,
dude, hats off to you.
So for me to do like a bi-monthly thing, like that's no sleep. That's like my family doesn't exist to me, and I gotta what are we doing? Chad, what are you doing? There you go. But yeah, like that, like I'm actually gonna applaud, I'm gonna clap, because to do it bi-monthly is really impressive. Especially coming out the gate.
But see, we didn't know that there was like a stipulation. We didn't know there were rules to this. We were just two kids from Ohio that wanted to make a book.
But you were still in college, right?
The first time we put out the book, yes, I was in college. The second when we relaunched it, we wasn't.
Okay.
And then we talked to people. Like we knew, like we had a team of people helping us put out the book. So it wasn't just me and Victor, which allowed us to do that. But the story's not perfect. We had our ups and downs. We did go, like, after that, we went gaps, a while without putting out a book and stuff like that. And there was a while of just having those 3 books and going to shows. And then, Vic ended up wanting to go do his own thing, which was perfectly fine because he does Ventures in-house productions now. And he just wanted to see if he could do his own comic book label, which he did. and he's crushing it over there. I still work with Vic, and then
I think I just friended him maybe a few months ago. I can't remember if I've spoken to him. I speak to a lot of people on the Top 5 show, so he might have jumped on there once or twice. You
would remember speaking to Vic.
I've met a lot of people. In reality, I've met a lot of y'all in a really short amount of time, and I'm talking about within the year or so that we've been doing Top 5. It's been about maybe not a year, maybe like half a year. I'm not even sure.
You're getting there.
But I've met a lot of y'all.
Probably like 8 to 10 months at least.
I mean, I'm not taking no light from nobody else, but you would remember having a conversation with Vic.
Okay.
He loves to discuss.
I'm gonna try and get him back on, man.
Do it. He loves to discuss. He loves to dissect comics. He has a completely different perspective on the world of making comic books and stuff like that. You would remember.
I'm gonna reach out.
But and then life comes into play. My job situation fell through. I got a different job, trying to work that job, and I didn't have any balance with the books. I started having we started having kids, and trying to balance kids, trying to balance work, and then trying to balance comic books. I failed at that totally. So one of them had to go, and it was the comics. It wasn't just me anymore. So I had kids to look after and my wife. So
had to do it.
So I took time off of books to get myself back together, and right when I was thinking about stepping back in the waters, this comic book shop that we went to a lot wanted to launch a comic book company. And but they were talking about launching a comic book company, and he wanted me to do my book there, and he was going to pay me to do my book. He's going to pay me to write my book. He's going to pay me to pencil my book. And we got a percentage of the sales or whatnot, and we were going to go to all the shows. And I was like, this is too good to be true, because this dude has an amazing comic shop. So he obviously has a business acumen. He knows what he's doing, and he knows comics, and it's a comic shop. So my books are going to be in the comic shop.
Right.
And so I was like, this is a obviously go-to deal. Let's do this. And when I went to sign the contract and talk to him, he wanted me to do a book, but then we changed the conversation. He was like, well, you can do your book. You can do Hot Shot and, whatever else you want to do. And that's That's when I did Hot Shot and I did Heroes International and I did Vigilance under there. And the first 6 months were amazing. They were amazing. And then the lies came. just wasn't good anymore.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm just,
just
the way.
Hey, I'm at the point now where I can laugh at it. I mean, it was an experience. It's an experience, and I have to be honest. And the thing is, I have to be honest about the experience. The first 6 months were amazing. I was able to get back into comics because of this publishing company. My name got known further because of this company.
Right.
But with the good came the bad. There was just things deliverables that did not come through on, and the long game wasn't properly planned. So, but I took an L there, but there were some wins there. It wasn't a completely forward situation, but there was bad things. And I was like, you know what? I'm never going to another publisher again. I'm going to stick with doing it myself. Then about a week after leaving or publicly announcing that I wasn't with that company anymore, Sean Mack comes in my inbox and he's talking to me about Short Fuse, and he's been a fan for a while, and they want to carry me over. They want to carry our books over there under their label. And I'm like, I'm good, B. I'm good. Not doing that no more. He was like, all right, man. I mean, don't completely shut me down. I mean, let's not shut the door on it. I mean, I'll give you your space, but I will tell you, this is what we do, And some of what he was saying was appealing to me. And the real cool thing about Sean Mack is that when I liked what he said, I liked the space that he gave me. I liked what he knew about comic books. He knew about comic books in the way my previous publisher did not, that I thought they should. He knew about the business of making comic books. And, we eventually started talking more like every other day. And we were talking about this and we're talking about that. And there wasn't any pressure to suit up with Short Fuse. He gave me a lot of room to breathe. And he said, you know what? We've been talking a lot. Here's a contract. I'm not asking you to sign the contract. I'm asking you to read over it. Whatever you want to put in this contract, I'm going to roll with.
Wow.
I don't know. What? Quit playing, man. I like you now, Sean. Don't mess it up. And so he gave me the contract. I read it over. It was probably like 2 or 3 weeks. I asked a lot of questions. There were things that I wasn't comfortable with. Not saying that he was trying to get over on me. It was almost like trauma from the last publisher that I wanted more clarification on, or I wanted a stipulation, because what happened, I'm not saying Sean was going to do what that previous publisher did, but I didn't want to be in that situation again where I didn't have any options.
Right.
And you know what? He was absolutely cool with it. Absolutely.
I mean, yeah.
Anything that I had questions on, he thoroughly explained it to me. If he didn't agree with some stuff, he asked for more information about why I felt that way. And then, he would tell his side of it as well. And I was like, all right, I get that. So there was a lot of give and take with it, but it was no pressure. And so, I ended up signing with Short Fuse. I saw their library of books, their performance, how many Kickstarters they hit. And I was like, this is the publisher I needed to be with. Somebody who knows about comics, that business of comics. Just because you have a comic book shop does not mean that you know about publishing comics. Right. And he did. And I learned a lot from Short Fuse, man. I learned a ton from Short Fuse. I got humbled over there as well. Because, I go to these comic book conventions and I think I'm hot shit at these comic book conventions because I'm moving books and stuff. And Sean was like, so how much you think you can bring in on a Kickstarter? I was like, man, 5,000-6,000 easy. He was like, all right, cool, because we could probably do 3 or 4. I know with our audience on Kickstarter, based off our performance, we can do 3,000 or 4,000.
Right.
If you're talking about 5 or 6, so should we set that goal for 10? I was like, bet, let's go. Let's do this. And he's like, all right, cool. I'm going to start building the Kickstarter page. I'm going to set up for that. But listen here. I want you to do this for me. Start a post. Get 100 people to share it. And then we're going to spread the word about your Kickstarter. All right? Get 100 people to share your post about your Kickstarter. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bet. I make the post, two people share it. I'm like, like, what the hell going on here? And Sean did that to let me know that there's different audiences.
Mm-hmm.
My convention audience is different from my online audience, and my online audience is different from my Kickstarter audience.
Mm-hmm.
So the more I tried to push that damn post to get it shared, and it wasn't moving, I'm like, Sean, you probably want to bring that budget down.
Bring that down. Bring that down. Just bring it down. Bring it down. Bring the numbers down. Just bring it down.
And,
What's the scene in Ant-Man? Bring it on back. Bring it back. Move it back. Move it back.
And so that was a humbling experience, but that was a very, teachable moment. And at that point, that was kind of where all my streaming and stuff came from, because Sean was like, you need to find a way to affect these audiences online to get them behind you and get people, buying your stuff and want to support you online. So what can you do to make that happen? And that's when I started streaming. That's when I started doing like the push-up videos and stuff on the Kickstarter and all that jazz, and just making myself more present online than I've ever been. And our first 3 Kickstarters with short fuse were all funded. The Visions one was the biggest one that we did there. We went to comic book shows. We crushed it at comic book shows. While I was at Short Fuse, I was put in charge of comic book conventions and promotions. And after about a year doing that, Sean asked me to be the publisher of Short Fuse. So I was like, what? I just got here, my guy. I just got here. But Sean wanted to take more of a back seat to do more things behind the scenes and work on figures and stuff like that. And after a long thought process, I did it. I was like, all right, let's go. And learned a lot in that role. We did that for about 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
Time flies by. But it was great, working with all the creators, being in charge, being the publisher and all that jazz. And it was just, I learned so much. Like Sean, the cool thing about Sean is like, he may not agree with everything that you do, but he's not going to try to force himself on you. He's going to speak his mind. He's going to say, in my experience, this is what I did, da, 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 da. But, that final choice of what you want to do was on you.
Right.
Or whatnot. And that's what I liked. Because there were some things we didn't agree on, and then there were things that we did agree on. But he still let me be my own publisher at his company. You know what I'm saying? And that takes a lot of trust. That takes a lot of trust.
Right.
Learned a lot of things through there. But while I'm doing the publisher thing, I also have my own gauntlet that I roll with, which is Danny Cooper, Ren McKenzie, and Victor Dandridge. And we hit these comic book conventions hard. And we have learned a lot going to these shows. And I'll tell you right now, going to these comic book conventions, they're not here to appease you. If you go to these shows, you got to be ready to do the work. And we had to learn that. I'm not going to say the hard way, but we learned it the long way.
Mm-hmm.
And comic book conventions are an opportunity for you to sell. They are also a promotional event. When you get there, Victor and I, when we got there, one of the things that we thought about, because we had a lot of the shows together, was we didn't think about making money first. We thought about how do we get the most attention to us? How do we make people remember us? How do we
never thought about it that way?
How do we entertain people? Because I've talked to somebody for 45 minutes and they ain't bought nothing from me. But 2 shows later, they bought out my entire library. How do you create memories at a show? And that's what we went. That's what we went for, and that's what we did. And then the money came. Of course, we were concerned about making table back and things like that. But the more we did shows, the more we found out that, well, the more you do at a show, the more you get. And that's when we started doing panels. That's when we started, I started doing what I call the hype line. And I would just go, we realized that nobody was talking to the people that were waiting outside.
I know.
That, these people are waiting outside 2-3 hours before the show starts, and nobody's talking to them. And so Victor and I would go out there, we would freestyle, we would break dance. That was back in my younger days when I had a back.
No, you got it. You still got it. Right? You still got it.
We do trivia, and we talk to them, and we'd be like, come meet us at the table. And some people would remember us. They come over to our tables, they hang out, they buy stuff. But what the thing that was important about that was that the convention show saw us do that. And that was
Right.
something they didn't ask us to do, but they saw people were entertained by it. So
Right.
then they started, hitting up Vic and I to do more stuff and to do panels and stuff like that. Victor's career in conventions goes deeper than mine's, though. He really took that horse and ran it on down and did all types of stuff with it. But we found ways to get into the door to where we cut costs down. And and one of the things you can do if you have a resume of how many of a distinguished comic book career where you're making comic books or you've done presentations and stuff like that, you can go to a show as a guest. And and depending on the show, they'll comp you a table, depending on the show.
Yeah, Danny and I have had this argument many a time. I'm sure you're aware of the comic book cons are a scam.
Yeah.
His weird dissertation on why he shouldn't do big cons.
I love doing big cons.
I do too.
I
freaking love it.
Give me as many people as possible, and I'm gonna stand on the table and shout to the rooftops.
Well, since you're talking about conventions, I want to ask you, what would you like to see from a convention? Is somebody who you are going in as a vendor, as somebody who's going to try to get the word out and promote yourself? What would you want to see on that side?
I don't want to see too much of nothing, man. It's my job at a show. The only thing I would like to see from a comic book convention is a good layout. That's it.
Yeah.
Give me a good floor layout that invokes the right amount of traffic to where everybody gets a fair shot. In my eyes, everybody gets a fair shot of being seen, because it's not the comic book convention's job to make people buy my books. That's my job.
Hey, say that louder for Danny. Say that louder for Danny.
It's not the comic book convention's
job. I want a T-shirt. I'm gonna make a T-shirt that says it, and I'm gonna give it to Danny. I'm gonna give it to him.
That's my belief. That's my belief. That's how I feel. But I
gotta say this. My biggest pet peeve of what I see from people who are at Comic Cons who are trying to sell is two things, right? It's the person who's sitting there like this.
Yep. I can't stand it.
Like they're sitting there like that, and then I've heard that same person complain about, oh man, this is he's clean. Who's Facebook user? Who is that?
Who is Facebook user? We can't see your name.
We can't see your name, man.
But
I don't like that person, and I don't like overly aggressive dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like screaming at people as they walk by.
Oh, it's Brad.
What's going on, Brad? What's going on? But when you screaming at people as they walk by, especially if you near me, if you next to me, you scaring away customers, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean like in an entertaining way. I mean like I've had.
That's the difference. People have to be able to read the room, because I have a portable mic that I take with me.
Oh wow.
And I especially have to use it now because I had COVID and I was in the hospital, so my voice doesn't carry the way it does anymore. And but I read the room. Like I'm loud already, and I know for much older schooler cats, my sales technique and my energy isn't the type of thing they do, because they have a name, so they expect people to come up to them. I ain't got no name. Sorry, buddy.
Jamari has seen me. Jamari has seen me at shows.
Oh, no.
I'm loud.
Yeah,
I'm talking to everybody that walk by.
Everybody. You got to be seen. You got to be heard. But like you also, like I said, you got to read the room. And there was one guy who was next to me. I mean, I was killing it. I did the hype line. I did everything. Our table was packed early in the morning. We had like 20, 25 people around the table. It was spilling over. I had the mic going, da-da-da-da-da. And the dude linked over and tapped Danny. And I was like, can you tell your man to let the mic go? It's a little loud. And Danny was like, okay. And he looked at me, told me. I was like, oh, my fault, sir. Super sorry. Didn't realize it was that loud. I apologize. I'll make sure to tell the crowd to keep their voices down as well. We don't want to disturb you. And then, I put the mic down and I got back to talking to the crowd or whatnot. But I just want, you said, what would I ask for a show? I just want a dope layout, like to make sure that the traffic can flow. I normally kind of like, the movie stars and stuff at the back, so that way it forces everybody to have to travel through everything.
Yeah.
To see stuff. And I guess the secondary thing is to make sure tables or people are where they're supposed to be, because like there's some stuff that doesn't belong in Artist Alley or whatnot. So those would be my only things. But outside of that, a convention's job for me is to bring people. That's their job. And when those people come to that convention, they bring their ticket, they sign a contract. You sign a contract that I get to talk to you. You ain't got to buy nothing from me.
Yep.
You ain't got to talk to me. You can keep on walking. You ain't got to buy nothing from me. But you signed a contract knowing that you would be pitched to and you would be talked to. And I'm going to talk to about 80 to 90% of all the people that walk past my table. If it's just a hi, or I dig that shirt, or me trying to go out and wrangle some sales versus, that type of thing or whatnot. But
yeah, I do the thing where it's like, if you make eye contact with me, I'm gonna say hi to you.
Exactly.
Now, if you don't make eye, because the people who don't make eye contact and they hurry by, they're like, I don't want to talk to them. I don't bother you. I'm like, all right, cool.
I bother them.
You bother them.
I'm not really trying to sell to them. I'm trying to sell to the people around them. So if I can find something that draws their attention, like if I like their shirt or they got a print, but I know they're not looking at my eye, I'm like, oh.
No, that's different though. That's different. If I see something cool, like I've seen like people who scurry by me, but they'll have like a dope cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be like, yo, that's fly, man. That's cool. That's cool. Go ahead, Mark.
I was remember at Dragon Con, because I was sitting there as people were coming by, and I was just snapping pictures, and then you would start talking to them, I would start talking to them, and then you would talk after me, and then you'd start pitching your book. So I remember that happening a lot. I still have that roll pictures from that convention. So that's an interesting thing. Like listening to you all talk about this is making me kind of think about some things for later on. For my, to elaborate, I am throwing a mini convention at a high school, and so that's why I was asking the questions about what would you want for that. And we've got vendors coming, and it's just the first time we're starting. Javon has heard me talk about this, so it's something
I'm
upset
I can't make it.
Huh?
I said I'm upset I can't make it.
I'm just glad we're getting it to even happen this year. Listening to your story has made this very inspiring to the kids that I deal with, because I'm doing it because these kids are suburbs of Atlanta, and some of them have either never gone to a convention or they've only been able to go once. And I just said, well, why not bring that kind of atmosphere and energy to them?
Mm-hmm. I say one of the things that I don't like that big cons do, and it's there are people there that are just there to sell prints.
Yeah.
Right. I prefer, if it were me and I was setting it up, I would kind of give those guys their own section and then put the independent people together, because those guys, they have those huge booths, and sometimes they can like overlap and almost like overshadow, like to the point where you're not seen.
Mm-hmm.
And that's happened to me a couple times, to the point where I'm always standing up anyway, but I absolutely have to stand up this time. Like I gotta stand. I literally will be like peeking my head out, like, hey y'all, what's going on? Come on over here. I'm here. I'm over here. There's a person here. Like, I think there's a little bit of those giant booths of prints that can have their own space where they can kind of exist. But like it can be real easy for a smaller guy. And I don't mean like my physical stature. I mean smaller as an independent comic book artist, writer, whatever. I would do that.
So you would say
go ahead. I'm sorry.
What you're saying is you would rather have the people who are doing independent comics almost have the indie comic people all in their own area, and then the people who are working to sell prints and art more so in their own side, or even have one on one side, one on the other.
I think it should be a nice flow, but I also think what would be cool, and they will never do this, number one.
Okay.
Is for like the established named creators, like, if you like Donnie Cates or whatever, if they are closer to, if they're almost interspersed with the indie people, I think it would be nice because it would allow for networking, but it would also, the people that are going to see them will also see some cool independent stuff.
So you're saying,
but I understand that they're not going to do, they'll never
so
do
you're
that,
saying
though.
it's more of a build towards, the original idea was putting the celebrity people to back. If you have
Not celebrities. Look, the celebrities are always going to be separate. I'm talking about comic book creators, like
I'm just
established.
I'm working on the idea of like you have one floor and it's like you put those the feature type people, and then you bring back, then you come down and there's a next level. You come down to the next level, and as you said, they got a flow to get past it. They go through everybody eventually.
Yeah, I mean, it's
honestly nerdy thing. I'm not nerdy kind of setup stuff.
But I did want to address what Brad said. He said, "Why does the guy with the phone bother me? Because he leaves more people for me." It doesn't bother me. Like, man, get off your phone.
I'm sorry. Ryan Robinson, if you are watching this show right now, you are a G. That is fantastic. Ryan just slid into my inbox with this amazing illustration of Vigilance that he just drew.
Okay.
He is ridiculous. It's on the kitchen table. Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. When we going to release it? When you going to release it, man?
I'm trying to pull it up right now.
All right, but why are you doing that? So the reason is, it's not that the person bothers me. It's more the person. Oh, Nadia, that was Nadia? Okay, my bad.
Yeah, I just got it up.
Oh, you got it up?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's fire. That's beautiful.
Oh,
that's
my
fire,
goodness.
dude.
Ryan, why you do this to me?
Go on and put that link for the by the way, this man's Kickstarter is still going on for Vigilance. Please go to the link below and pop that boat. There it is. Kickstarter Vigilance Kickstarter already funded, but hey, listen, keep supporting. Kickstarters aren't just to get the goal, man. It's to get the goal in more. These guys put in a lot of work, and most of them ain't doing this for full time.
Right.
So we want to support. We want to support independent. We support independent comics on this show.
I want to shout out a lot of the reason the FSK is out here where it is because of the people behind FSK. It ain't just me. I have a very amazing and dope ass team that works their rear ends off to make these things happen. Namely Danny Cooper, Veronica Smith, Lori Foster. They are out here in these streets and making these comic books look incredible. We got Tony Clapper, we got Charlie McElvey, we got Fish Lee, we have Alyssa Sanchez. And to some degree, we got LaShawn Colvin, Andrea Smith, Kelly Dennis in editorial roles. Cosplay team, Marcy, Fee, Monalay that cosplay for us. Jazzy does our graphic design work. Jerry Faye Menard writes stories for us for our cipher book. And we got Guida draws the new issue of Vigilance. He's the ongoing artist, and Guida is, he did the antagonist. Stephanie Menard comes from, she writes horror stories, but now she's writing a superhero story with us. Seth DeMoose is the ongoing artist for Emerald Quest. He just finished issue 2, and now he's about to start working on issue 4. I'm probably forgetting some names, and I apologize, but the team is deep. And
I'm jealous. I'm legitimately jealous. Like
that sounds like a stout team. I'm jealous. It sounds like you thought of everything.
I'm jealous.
I don't think of everything, and that's where they come in at.
I'm not hating on you at all. Outwardly, inwardly, I'm hating. But
I know you're not hating. I definitely just want to shout them out because
no, do that. Do your thing, man.
It's what it is because of them.
Do your thing, man. Listen, making comics is hard.
It is.
I did not realize how hard it was until I did my first comic book. Like, it was so hard. Real talk. It was so hard, and my wife can vouch for this. When I got the proof for it. I got the proof. And I looked down at it and I cried. I literally cried because I remembered every sleepless night, every, point where the art I didn't like the art or whatever. Like it legitimately was like having a baby metaphorically. You know what I mean? Like it was tough, man. And I don't think people think it. I think people think, oh, you just draw a couple things and somebody prints it and you go make some money. And just from start to finish, from the creative point to the actual manifesting it outwardly into a book, and then to convince somebody who had no idea that they were going to buy your book to buy your book is such a daunting task. So to do it, and you guys have been on it, man. Like I said, you got an empire. You inspire me. Like every time I see you put something else, and I'm like, damn, man, let me take some notes, man. Okay, he got a jacket. All right, I need a heat jacket. All right, cool. Oh, he got a hat. Let me get that heat. Okay, cool. You inspire me and encourage me. And we talked about this on Top 5. I don't know if you saw this week. We were talking about how like people use different things like for motivation. And like, if like, how Jordan would if somebody thinks if he thought somebody was better than him, that was his motivation to be better. And I was like, I'm the same, man. I watch all you guys and the work that you do. And I'm like, I step up my game. The days where I don't feel like drawing and I just jump on Facebook and I see you put out another Kickstarter, I'm like, damn, let me pick this pencil up and start drawing. Man, let me draw, man. I gotta catch up to this man. Like he just won't take a break. Like, you know what I mean? So you guys really do inspire me, man.
Well, I really appreciate that, sir. That's good to hear. I love knowing that somehow, some way I can motivate somebody, because I needed that motivation myself. I look at y'all, I look at what everybody else is doing, and I am in no way comfortable where we're at. We're not where I want us to be. And there are people out there producing some amazing things, and I'm
fire.
Like, all right, well,
fire. And
looks
you
like
just
I gotta put this Destiny 2 down.
What? Hold on. You said Destiny.
Yeah, I played Destiny 2.
Which queen right now?
Yeah. I'm on that.
PC, what you doing?
I'm on PS4.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting back into it. I used to run main Titan on Destiny 1 and Destiny 2.
We need a Titan, because me and Tony, we run Hunters, and my boy Ryan runs the I don't want to say wizard, but wizard.
Warlock, I know what
Warlock.
you mean. Yeah. So
yeah, man. I haven't touched a video game, dude. I haven't touched a video game since a long time. Yeah. Every time I pick up my controller, I'm like, Javon, you got a page you need to finish coloring or flatting. So you need to go flat that page, or Javon, you need to, you gotta mark it for the show next week. You need to go do that. So I mean, I honestly how did you find people my problem for me has always been working with people who match my work ethic. Mm-hmm. Because I get frustrated if I'm working my butt off and the person that's supposed to be working with me isn't.
Oh, well.
Like, that's difficult for me. And I will literally stop the association right there. I'm like, dude, I'm here every day working, and I'm looking at you and you're not working. So.
Well, for me, I had to realize that nobody's going to work as hard as I am for something that I made.
That's tough.
That's just the reality of it is. There'll be people that come close. There'll be people that come close as hell to it. But when it's something that you crafted, something that you're trying to do, nobody's going to work as hard as you are on that thing.
Yeah.
And then when you find those people that are super close to what you do, those people are far and few that you'll find. They're hard to find. And when you find those people, you don't let those people go. Then you have the people that really like you and like what you're doing, and they're inspired by it, and they want to be a part of it. but you have to separate and understand this ain't their thing. They want help, they want to do it, but this ain't their thing. So you should for me, I don't expect anybody to do as much as I do, but also I'm not going to ask somebody to do something that I wouldn't do. And like Danny right now, like Danny has cussed me out. Tessa, who is one of the interns that helps us with the Agents of Nerdy Show, has cussed me out. My wife has cussed me out, and that's them telling me like I need to be asking for more help, and I need not to do as much as I do. And that's where I've leaned on Veronica, I've leaned on Lori, I've leaned on Danny, I've leaned on Victor, I've leaned on Ren, because those have become and proven, those are proven go-tos. But now I'm reaching out to more people, like, because the FSK family has grown in what we're doing, and it's hard to find those people. Like, I'm just now discovering those people, and being comfortable with the fact that everybody's not going to work as hard as I work, and I'm kind of ridiculous. Like, I'm not saying I like to brag, but like, I like working, and that sounds really weird, but I like making comics.
Yeah.
So
No, it's not weird at all.
That makes perfect sense.
That ain't weird at all, dude.
Your passion, why wouldn't you?
Dude, that ain't weird at all, man. If I could do it 24/7,
yeah,
I would.
Like, putting these Kickstarters together, doing like the numbers.
I hate Kickstarters. I hate doing Kickstarters.
My graph sheets, my financial sheets. I love doing all that stuff, talking about comic books, talking about the story arcs, putting the teams together. I'm in our one book that's premiering on the Kickstarter, Tajisu Gates, with Alyssa Sanchez. I talked to her team. I was like, all right, I need to get a date, and I want all the ladies on this book at a round table next week. We need to interview y'all, because like, I need to stop being the person that everybody sees, because everybody sees me.
Right.
And like, y'all are doing work too.
Right.
Y'all need to be out here, and it's little things like that expands the brand.
Right.
Like, next week when I set this interview up and they're being interviewed, and they don't see Mike there, they see Alyssa, they see LaShawn, they see Josephine, and they see Jerry, and they're all sitting there at this table talking about what it's like to be a woman in comic books and what they're doing at FSK, and like, oh, that's Freestyle Comics, they work there. That's bringing in their audience and letting other people know, like, on our trail, like, oh yeah, look what else we do, or whatnot. But I enjoy doing all that stuff. Like, my desk is just, I'm constantly just spinning back and forth. My screens are all just set up. Like, my day job, I do comics for the job that I work for.
Oh, nice.
So it goes from one.
Oh, that's that's beautiful, man. I wish I was there, man. That is beautiful. I do not do comics for my full-time job.
So it's not the type of comics that you expect. We do math activity sheets.
Hey, listen,
it's my job to add comic book aspects to them.
Right. So we've given you your flowers. I do want to get your opinion on the Batman.
Oh, because I have one.
I'm listening. I'm gonna give you mine, but I want to hear yours first.
The Batman is a good movie. My dude does a good Batman. His Bruce Wayne sucks. Catwoman's amazing. Penguin is amazing. The fact that he is a detective the entire time in this film is freaking amazing. But I do not like the portrayal of Bruce Wayne. I do not like they're not effectively using Bruce Wayne at all. Alfred was dope, but it's not the Alfred that I know of, and that's my own expectation and whatnot. The movie did not need to be 3 hours.
Oh my god.
The Batmobile was better than I thought it was going to be. But it's a good Batman movie. But at the end of the day, this is the 9th Batman movie. If you don't know how to make a Batman movie after 3 other people made Batman movies, I don't know what you're making a Batman movie for. Stop it. Patterson was a good Batman, but he was not a good Bruce Wayne. It was a good movie, great direction, great cinematography. Some of the action with Batman seemed a little slow, and I don't like how many times he got shot because he's not Iron Man.
I'm waiting for. I'm waiting.
And there were some moments where he crashed in, or like how he, like him walking through the alleyway through the shadows. That was great.
Really, I didn't agree.
Hold on, I'm not finished.
I disagreed with
That
that.
was great the first time.
Okay, all right.
You know, that was like, I was like, oh shoot, that's intimidating as hell. But then it's like, he do this every time. Shoot down the alley. Shoot the alley. It's Batman. Didn't y'all know he does this every time? This is his move. But so and for me, Ben Affleck is still my Batman.
Jesus.
Michael
I really enjoyed having you on the show. I'm gonna have to let you go.
Michael Keaton's the GOAT. I love Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton is my Batman.
But Ben Affleck, he does it for me, man. I like his costume. I like the way they have him fight. I like when he has the right script and he's being directed correctly, he's got a killer Batman. And I wish they would have given him, or I wish they would have given him
a movie.
Yeah, like Ben Affleck deserved a movie.
We disagree on that.
And that's perfectly fine, baby. That's perfectly fine. I got my Ben Affleck right there in the Batman costume doing his thing, but
I would like to.
I don't need another solo Batman movie. What I need is a DC Universe Batman movie. That's what I need. That's
I
what
agree.
y'all working on.
I agree. I would agree with the majority of what you said.
Mm-hmm.
My issues with it are, no, once again, I actually really like the movie, but I'm picking nits here.
Uh-huh.
It was long. It was long. It didn't have to be that long, but it was really long. I had a problem with, like you made the point about him getting shot. I didn't have a problem with him getting shot. I had a problem with him taking on machine gun fire.
That's what I'm
walking
talking
through
about.
that joint like it was a rainy day.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about. Like that's too much.
That I said that to Greg, and he was like he we kind of went back and forth about it. But I'm like, Batman shouldn't be Iron Man, and like you said, Batman shouldn't be Iron Man. He was taking on like machine gun fire like this close.
That close and like not budging.
Not budging. Like he walked into it. It was a cool scene.
That's what I tell everybody. Like it is beautifully edited. It is beautifully shot.
Yeah.
It is a powerful scene. It looks incredible, but not Batman.
Yeah. And then I had an issue, like you said, him walking out the shadows the first time was kind of cool, but I didn't feel like this Batman was stealthy enough for me.
Yeah.
Like this is not really a spoiler, but there's literally a scene where him and Commissioner Gordon pull up to a scene together, like in their cars. And Batman's just sitting in his car like, what's up? What's up, Gordon? What's up, Gordon? And I was just like, that don't feel like Batman to me, man. That feels like that feel like Knight Rider or something. Like that was weird. Like there were certain scenes where it just felt like it didn't feel right to me as Batman. But also it felt like they took like different things from all the different live action versions of Batman and kind of pushed it together. Like his relationship with the police was kind of like part 70s Batman and part Christopher Nolan Batman. Like they tried to have the best of both worlds with him basically moving about police like, hey guys, what's up? You got some coffee for me? Like, no, like I was just kind of like thrown by that. Like,
and I didn't like the Riddler.
Really? I like the Riddler. I like the Riddler. I thought
they were trying too hard to do a different version of the Riddler. All that plastic bag all over his head. I was like, can you breathe? I mean, like, can you breathe while you're telling these riddles?
So, hmm.
Well, I'll say this: him not, and this is a bit of a spoiler, but him, the mystery about who he is not being integral to the movie didn't make his outfit make sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it didn't
Like,
matter who he was.
That was the problem. Like, I thought there was going to be a mystery to, like, okay, it was going to be it's this person all along, but it wasn't. It was
Right.
just old dude.
Can I throw
over
something
there.
out to you both?
Go ahead.
Okay.
I think Jeffrey Wright should have been the Riddler.
Nah,
Right.
not with
don't
what
think
they
so?
were doing. Not with what they were. Oh, you
Well,
mean
I'm not
the
saying
actor playing the
I'm not
role?
saying that version of him, but I'm saying I think he would make a good Riddler.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
I see what you mean.
I think.
I thought he was a good Gordon.
I thought he was a good Gordon too.
I thought it was interesting.
I'm pretty sure he will. I haven't watched it, but that's not. I don't think that role is hard for him.
It was
I don't think
interesting.
it is either.
They had him in almost a role like Robin. At a certain point, he was basically Robin in the movie.
So yeah. So here's the other thing. If you're not gonna put Batman in with the DCU, because Matt Reeves already said he doesn't want to do a Superman in the Batman world that he's making, trash. Then
He did.
do the
Wow, I
Bat
didn't know
family.
that. I think.
What are they afraid of? Like,
I don't know.
write a good story, put it out there. God dang.
I think a lot of it is almost trying to do the opposite of what Marvel is doing.
Yeah.
I think
They-
they're
they-
seeing
they-
Marvel
they-
have all these
Where's they
cameos.
gotten you?
They tried to make another Joker movie with this Batman movie. Now,
I
and
knew
I
they were
agree,
trying to
I
make
agree
another
with
Joker.
what other people were saying. Like that Joker movie, that's a dope film. Beautifully directed. Everyone acted
Really,
their
that
butts
was a
off.
terrible man.
But nobody would care about that movie if it was anybody else. It could have been Tom, the cat bagger. That movie gets no
And
light.
that's why they had to make it.
I
They
feel like
really
that
piggy-
movie.
They
Go
really
ahead. I'm sorry.
piggybacked an art house movie. They by using the DC they use a DC character to make an indie movie that normally used to get made back in the 90s and the early 2000s. Nobody makes movies like that anymore. But you're right. If it had been any other character, nobody would have gave a darn to go watch it.
I maintain that there was a script that somebody had that they gave, and they were like, you know what? I don't like this script as is. Let's just throw the Joker in there. And
You're
then
probably right.
That's how this movie came about.
That sounds very accurate. That would be a very good guess, I think.
But I mean, I don't really want to see Batman versus Joker again.
I didn't need a Joker movie.
No,
but I'm not. But even though I don't need a Joker movie, I'm not. For me, I'm not going to downplay Joaquin Phoenix's performance because
I thought that movie was boring as heck.
I thought Joaquin Phoenix's performance was amazing. Like he did that job. Not better than Heath Ledger, but he did that job. And it's
not better than
film. But like I said, nobody cares about
I like Jack. I like Jack Nicholson. I feel like Jack was closer
I feel like he gets
to the comics.
overshadowed now.
Who?
Because of Heath Ledger.
Jack?
Nicholson.
Yeah,
Jack Nicholson should have got at least nominated for Best Supporting for that version. But that was back when nobody would have ever put that kind of movie in for an Academy Award.
Yeah, this habit they have of giving people who play the Joker Oscars is weird to me. It's just a weird thing. Hey, he played the Joker. That Joker's crazy. Let's give him an Oscar. Come on, guys. Come on now.
Going back
Let's
to
just
it.
Stop.
I just, if I were going to use a different person, I would have loved to have seen someone like Jeffrey Wright, because I remember him on Boardwalk Empire playing a villainous character. And I feel like that's what made me think he would make a good Riddler.
I thought the Riddler they had was perfectly fine. I just, it's funny. I read an article today where they were talking about how the ending of the movie didn't feel like the rest of the movie. With the spoiler, folks, if you're watching, the flood coming in and all that other stuff, it was like they felt like the rest of the movie is this low key detective
noir.
crime noir movie.
Yeah.
And then they bust out a huge action scene at the end, huge apocalyptic action scene at the end. And they're like, well, we feel like you only did this because it's a comic book movie. Like,
you're probably right.
and
'Cause that's
well,
what
you know
happened.
what I would have done though is you could still have that big ending. What they really should have, forget the flooding, forget all that craziness. They should have just had like the ending with the snipers. Like that, like his big deal was to shoot the mayor. And then forget the flooding and that be the end conflict there. Like I would have done it that way. I think the whole apocalyptic we flooded Gotham now thing was a bit too much. But
it was. I liked his reaction to it. Like, I did this for you and me.
yeah,
We be safe, and we can, because like I'm working with you. I set them up, you knock them
that was
down.
cool.
I did like that. Like, and don't get me wrong. Like I said, the movie has very good aspects and good things to it. I just feel like I'm done with solo Batman movies.
Oh, I've been there. I wasn't even going to watch this one, but I knew we were going to talk about it on Top 5.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, let me go do it. Let me get it out the way.
I heavily believe I can't talk trash. Like, I wasn't excited to go see it, and it wasn't because Patterson was Batman, because I know Patterson can act. I live in a world where I know he's been in more things than just Twilight.
Right.
So
I agree with you.
He wasn't the cause of it. I'm just tired of solo Batman.
No, I'm with you.
Especially when Matt Reeves said he read Ben Affleck's script and it was heavily connected to the DC universe.
Yeah.
That's what we want, man. That's what we're looking for. When, what's the name of the show? Peacemaker? No.
Yeah.
Is it Peacemaker?
Yeah.
When this dude can have a cameo from 4 members of the Justice League for 1 minute at the end of his show, you can give me a Batman movie that has DCU characters in it. I mean, Batman is in the Flash. There's 2 Batmans in the Flash.
I want, give me one good Batman and Robin movie.
That
I would love to have one good Batman and Robin movie.
And then after that,
I gotta do it's I know you're busy, man, and I try not to have these shows go too long. But I gotta end it with, of course, you gotta do a top 5.
Okay.
Okay, before you do, I need to ask a question. I gotta ask this. I gotta go back to your sketchbook battles. Because I got a group of kids, I can put that on them. What were the rules of the sketchbook battles?
We had a time limit. I think we had like 10 minutes to draw whatever it was. You could not look anything up. You could not use any reference. It had to be in the sketchbook, with your pencils right there live in front of everybody. And there was a ref there that gave us whatever the idea was. That person who gave us the idea had to also make it not too complicated, that it couldn't be sketched out in 10 minutes. Okay. And then the crowd decided who won.
Nice.
I love it. I will be cribbing that. That's your story was. I'm gonna have to point some children in your direction, because that story was very inspiring, as many people pointed out today. So thank you for sharing that.
No problem, man. No problem.
All right, let me get top 5. Your top 5 mainstream minority comic book characters.
Damn. Hats off to that question. Top 5 mainstream minority characters.
Let me see if I come up with mine. I'll be nice. You don't have to put them in any order. Just give me your top 5.
Dang. Oh. I'm gonna just do it like this. 1, 2, 3. The entire cast of Avatar.
What are you doing, man? Get out the entire cast, man. Pick one.
No, Bolin, his brother.
Comic book characters, dude.
Huh?
comic book characters.
Oh, you said mainstream.
I said mainstream comic book characters.
Oh, I didn't hear the comic book part. My fault. I didn't hear the comic book part.
We'd be here all night, man.
Top 5 mainstream minority characters. All right. Let's see here. What's my girl's name? What's my girl's name? She's in I'm terrible with names, by the way.
That's all right. I got you.
She is in.
I'm an encyclopedia. I can figure it out.
She's in Iron Fist.
Oh, Misty, not Misty or Colleen.
Colleen.
Okay.
Colleen, Misty, Miles.
Okay.
That's 3. Storm, of course.
That's 3.
I said Misty too.
Oh, okay? That's 4.
And Monica Rambeau.
Okay.
Wow, Black Panther ain't make your top 5, dog.
Because I'm not one of those people that front. I have only liked Black Panther in the crossover events. There's only been one story in his own world that I've liked, and I can admit that I have not gone back to him just in his own world. But I'm not gonna I like Black Panther more now in the MCU because of the movies and stuff. But I'm not gonna add him on my list like that because I feel like I'm bandwagon jumping.
I mean,
respect.
Have you read a lot of Black Panther comic books?
Mm-mm.
Dude, you got to get Christopher Priest.
I've read some of the newer stuff, but there's just so many comic books I can't keep up with.
I know. Jude, listen to me. Christopher Priest, Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 3 volumes. It's all worth it.
Okay.
All right, Jamar, you want to go?
There's no. He hit most of the ones that I can think of off the top of my head, other than Blue Marvel.
Okay,
Ooh.
all right. So mine's
that's the character I really want somebody to bring into the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
I have always said, not always, but you know who I think would make a really good Blue Marvel, especially considering the age.
I know you're.
I think Will Smith would be a really good Blue Marvel. I think Will Smith, but I'm gonna give you my 5, and then I'm gonna let you go. My 5 in no particular order. Got to go Black Panther, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Steel.
Okay.
I love Steel. If I ever get into DC Comics, they ask me who I want to work on. It's 2 people, Nightwing or Steel.
Everybody wants to work Nightwing.
Number 3, I got to go with Storm. 4, Luke Cage. I've always been a Luke Cage guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then 5, Shang-Chi. I like Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
I've been a fan of Shang-Chi for a bit, even in the comic books.
See, and that's my thing. I wasn't a fan of Shang-Chi in the comics. I could care less about the character. But the movie, they did him right. I enjoy him. But and that's just my own personal preference. I don't want to throw him on there just because I just created that like.
Hey, listen, man. We there's no judgment here. I'm not Morgan. All right, there's no judgment. I had to get one shot at you, bro. But you my dog. All right. So listen, everybody who's watching or who will watch this, go on right to the link below. Get that Vigilance Kickstarter. Go on to support. You can go there. Also, you go to fsknow.com. Get some of that swag and previous books, right?
Yep.
Okay, you can get previous books there and support my dog, Freestyle Comics, Michael Watson. And just letting everybody know, next week we will have the incomparable Rags Morales. It's big for me because it's good dude. He's pretty much hung out with me every time I see him at Comic-Cons. He's just like, hey man, let's go get a drink. Out of nowhere, dude. Like, he's really cool with me, man, and I appreciate him for that. But yeah, come on back. And once again, I appreciate everybody. If you want to watch any of the previous episodes of the Stoked Podcast, you can go to visuallystoked.com, go to social, the social button, and then below the drop down, it'll say podcast. You can see previous shows of the Stoked Podcast, as well as previous episodes of Top 5 Live. And I'll be on Top 5 Live as always. I don't know what the top 5 is this week. I apologize. It takes us forever to figure this crap out. So when you guys know, it'll because I just found out. But yes, come back next week. Talk to Rags Morales and Mike. We're definitely gonna have you on again. I'm pretty sure you're gonna have something else coming out at some point. And
I want to know if you beat the new raid yet.
I try to keep them on their toes.
You definitely do. You definitely, like I said, you inspire me to keep stepping up my game. And we gonna get that. We gonna get that Freestyle Comics Heat crossover at some point. I say that to everybody, but don't nobody want to be like hollering at me, man. Y'all so busy.
Man, well, we got.
Let's get that. We get that hot shot in Heat. We could do that.
Yeah, that may be possible.
We can cross that over. That visually stoked Freestyle Comics crossover. We could work that.
Well, we might be able to do it how we did the Victor Dandridge crossover,
which one is that?
Well, actually, it's a stretch goal on our
okay.
Victor and I did Vantage Point. It was 2 pages in each one of our in the FSK books where his character was tearing through the fabric of realities. And he tore through FSK.
That's
but
cool.
We never know what happened with it. Well, the stretch goal is I did a 1-shot with Vic that pitted both of our universes against each other.
Oh, nice.
Nice. And if we hit 10,000 on the Kickstarter, everybody gets that book free. It's 24 pages. But also on top of that book, it comes with some of the best comments, because we actually did this a year ago, or 2 years ago, I think, live on Facebook. We battled each other.
Oh, nice.
Like for a week.
Wow.
And I screenshot like some of the funniest comments and some of the funniest gifts. And we're putting that in the book too.
Well, we're gonna work something out. I'm definitely going. If I don't get you to do a cover for me, I'll try and squeeze in a cover for you for one of your books. You just gotta let me know. You gotta give me time in advance. I'll drop one.
I'll give you time in advance.
Just tell me a character and give me some time, and I got you.
All right, that's what's up.
Yeah, man. What's the next Kickstarter? Do you know the next one that's coming out?
Yeah, it's Green Zone. It's Fish Lee's book.
Okay. All right. But thank you once again, and thank you everybody for stopping by and spending some time. We actually had quite a few people. I'm not going to take the credit for that because I think it's this man this way. I'm going the wrong way, right? This way. This man right here they came for him. I hope they stayed for us. Y'all have a great evening. Have a good night.
Appreciate it.